Hitler was a really bad dude, but he literally, so much of our world's governed by him. NASA, everything. They had a system where they first killed babies they thought were deformed. That was 1934. And the final solution happened like 6-7 years later. And so he's saying, because they've got a big problem. They've got undercover videos. They're keeping babies alive. You want to pull those up? I'm not BSing. There's dozens. So they've got to start getting it going now with governor physicians and people to go, because the nurses are freaking out. Mm-hmm. And they're saying, we're keeping babies alive and they get put in a van and drive away. What's going on? They're like, well, we didn't keep them comfortable. So the baby's worth $500,000.
Who's paying that?
In the chain of delivery. Just on. I mean, each organ's worth a lot of money. And so if you kill them right on the spot, they're like, why are we wasting this 7 pounds of... So see, if they can keep them alive, and now they've built these new wings. They've new wings. No, I can pull up. They have wings where they go, oh, we consider the baby dead. The mother decided it didn't live. If she decided to resuscitate and it lives, but it didn't resuscitate. It's flesh. It's a legalese. It's passed into a special ward with doctors that make a few million a year, and the little flesh ball is kept alive and comfortable until all the orders come in the land, and they take the organs, then they take the blood, and they take the skin, Joe. You see how it works? Now
Dude,
you know
you're freaking
why.
me out with this voice.
No, but see, it's a southern loving.
Oh.
You see, my dad knew organ harvesters in Dallas, and he said, don't sign your organ donor card. They've got corrupt hospitals where if you're totally viable, they take your organs.
Oh, Jesus
And
Christ.
then I said, Dad, you're crazy, but I didn't sign the organ donor card. And then my dad owned a hospital, too, in Dallas. Then when I was a decade later at my grandparents' house before my grandpa died, watching 60 Minutes, and it was Dallas, Texas, and Chicago caught killing people that were viable to take their organs tonight. The 60 Minutes expose. And it was the freaking hospital told me about.
Jesus Christ.
So, Joe, that's what I'm telling you is, were you at the kitchen table when you were 8 hearing about cyborgs? See,
No.
That's why I know about this. My dad never got fully into it. He decided to get out of it. And he decided to get out of it.
You're legitimately freaking me the fuck out.
Joe, I will let you.
You know, the problem is some of it makes sense because people figure out a way to rationalize a lot of things. And if you see a guy who's mangled in a car accident, but he's still alive, and you know you can sell the organs.
His back's broken. He can save 5 lives.
Yeah.
Make him comfortable.
Yeah. I mean,
Joe.
But the thing is, how many people would have to be involved for that to be real?
Joe, I can show you, let's not exaggerate, 15 videos of Planned Parenthood workers laughing, saying, I made $1 million last year. It's incredible. If we can just keep them alive longer, we'll get 10 times the money. We're only getting $50,000 per baby because we got to kill them before they leave the building. The mother doesn't know. They talk her into it. Oh, ma'am, you're 3 months pregnant. Oh, the baby might have a problem. Might have a heart murmur. Oh, the ultrasound. Oh, yeah. And then they get the... You understand? You're going to get... This is true.
Yeah.
They then keep it alive, but only a few hours. And they got to get planes coming in and vans, and they don't get the full price because they can't put it on the auctions. They've got digital corporate auctions. Look this up for organs.
Let me bring something up to you. I had this guy on yesterday. This guy who wrote this book, El Narco. His name is Joan Grillo, and he's an investigative journalist who lives in Mexico, and he studies the cartels.
They sell organs.
And what this is one of the things he was saying was that they get these people used to killing, and they were getting these kids and having these kids kill at a young age and dismember people, and they were doing it to get the fear out of their body. So this one guy who they had a nickname for him, Tyson. He was a cop, but he was also in charge of hiring these little kids and training these little kids to be assassins, and he would teach them how to dismember people. Mm-hmm. And he was going into it and all the things they did and all the beheadings that they did. And he was saying that they try to that in certain groups of people, when they have this organization, they try to get them used to horrific acts.
Well, it's called the cement of blood. And that's a Heinrich Himmler term, head of the SS, is that the SS, Hitler had about 7-8 years before he launched the war. So he got like 12-year-olds ready for war, and they would get them like having fun and swimming and working boxing, and then they would, like when they're like 15, give them a super hot hooker, and then give them drugs. It's LSD didn't get discovered in Switzerland. Hitler was putting them all on it, DMT, everything. And they would then have these religious experiences and say, you're invincible, you're super. This has all been declassified, but it's in more esoteric writings. And so they would get them all wound up, and then to graduate as an SS officer after you'd had a dog like 5 years, you had to strangle your German Shepherd.
Yeah, that was my friend Ari. His dad was in the Israeli Special Forces, or one branch. Would you remember what branch it was? One branch of the Israeli military, and they had to kill a kitten. They had to raise a kitten and kill it.
Jews are just like anybody else. There's good people, there's bad people. But yeah, Israel, because they got so screwed over by the Nazis, in a lot of sickening ways, just kind of copied a lot of it. And by the way, the Palestinians are trying to kill them, blow them up. My point is that the Nazis got evil down so much that, like, we brought 4,000 in to run NASA, to run the universities.
Operation Paperclip.
Everybody wanted Nazis. They were like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
Because they were all robots and would do whatever they were told.
Well, Werner von Braun was
head of
absolutely,
NASA.
Yeah.
Goddard Space Center. So, yeah.
And he was a Nazi.
So what would happen was, first they gave him sex, they gave him power, they would really pressure him, to go through things, and then they would basically, just condition them to do whatever they were told, and they called it the cement of blood, because then it's just like satanic cults say, kill your. I remember when I was growing up in Rockwell, Texas, I ran into like a satanic cult. I was like, God, this girl's a senior in high school. She's super hot. I'm in ninth grade, and like she's picking me up in her Mercedes, and I'm taking me some mansion. And the sex with her is incredible. And I'm walking out of the house because I looked like I was about 16 when I was 13. And the dad goes, "You like screwing my daughter?" "Yeah, I screw her too."
Whoa.
And just as soon as you join us, you love Lucifer, you get all the tail you want, boy, because we want you. But
what? Really?
But yeah, man, I've had an incredible life. Look also what I do now. But the point is that, hell, you're in LA, you know about all this. But the point is
I don't know about all that.
The point is that then the Satanists, because I never really got into Satanists, and I said, well, what do you want? Because I want to be, we want you to kill your dog.
Whoa. And
so the point is that now all these years, kill a loving thing that serves you, cares about you, is interface. Dogs are they're psychic buffers. Dogs are able to interface with you, and they want you to take something that's ready to die for you, and they want you to kill that. That's like killing a child. A dog is very very spiritual, very holy, very good. A dog will take on its master's aura, and it can be evil, but Joe, I'm just totally spilling my guts here because people need to know about all this, and this is what's going on, and this is what's happening, and so they want the cement of blood. Is they get people in a group, and they get them to do horrible, evil things during peer pressure. They create this synthesis, and you have to know the darker elements of the criminal networks that are inside are actually running Mexico as a laboratory test, because they know Native Americans are gung ho, and they're tough, and they're ready to fight. And I'm part Native American, only like 6% Comanche, and and just that little bit makes me wild. Yeah. And so they can get them. Because they're powerful, they're smart, they're neat, they're cool, but genetically they go into groupthink really, really fast. And so Native Americans you can mind control really fast.
Why is that?
Well, it's like Vietnam. I mean, the Bering Land Strait, and basically they test the genetics of Mesoamericans. It's basically Chinese, or Han, because there was always some whites and Vikings even 10,000 years ago going in the area. But Like nobody like in fights like in Korea fighting the Chinese. That's who we're really fighting there, or Vietnam. Do you think freaking? I mean, they're like they're conscious and real people, but when they get into a fight, they all sync up and are robots and have no fear. I mean, you're talking about psychotic killers you're fighting. And so Asians are about the most fearless killers there are.
You like the Mongols, like the
any of them. If you get, I mean, once Asians go to war, it's like they do not. In fact, they're not even crazed going wild in a battle. They're like robots coming to kill you. And so,
what do you think that's from? Do you think that's from their heritage of war? That they have a long, like if you think about Japan, Japan has a long history of being a noble warrior culture with the samurais and all the martial arts.
But you say, is it from the nobility? It's the genetics,
right? But
the genetics is what creates the. It's like 500 of you loading planes to go kill yourselves.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
I agree with you.
What I'm saying is, think about a place like Japan where so much martial arts came from: kendo, sword fighting. Karate, a bunch of different branches of karate, judo, jiu-jitsu. Japan, all that stuff came from Japan. I mean, that is a group of people that were obsessed with combat. I mean, they figured out
the ruling class was.
Well, not just that, the soldiers and even the civilians.
No, I agree, but the ruling class was the samurai, the shoguns.
The ruling class was the shoguns, right? And when you think about what a small place Japan is, and how stunning it is that so much innovation, especially in terms of like my line of work, martial arts.
I don't get into bell curves because you've got black people that are as smart as any white person, and then you've got black people that are way better at sports or whatever. I mean, there are genetic differences. We're not, and then you've got the head of your former, Cold Springs Harbor, Watson, comes out and says blacks aren't human, all that BS. That's just the racist crap that's in the government. But it's true that some groups of Northern Europeans, and then the Japanese, on average, per capita, have the highest IQ. And so they're Japanese, and then there are some Northern Europeans that have the highest IQs. But then you can get into, like, say, Jews have very high IQs on average.
European Jews have an extraordinary high number
also have
of
a social
Nobel Prize
skill.
Winners.
Yeah. It's a bunch of – so there's not just one type of intelligence.
Yeah. For sure, yeah. Well, there's tests that you can run in terms of mathematics, but there's no real tests you can run in terms of social intelligence.
The real test is psychic connectivity, and they've proven the DNA is a transceiver. And so my skill is, that's why I'm usually kind of like almost autistic, is I'm just being constantly, like everything's going on. But then if I actually focus in, I can like figure out the exact enemy operation. That's why they're really pissed. People that are Jewish, that are German, that are Chinese, that are Japanese, that are Italian, that are Mexican, people that either through fear or whatever get into dark side, light side, don't give people the knowledge, control the people, dumb them down, dominate them because they're only rocket fuel for you to go to the next level.
You know what's interesting about this? Not that you're right or wrong. What's interesting is how many people resist the idea that it's possible for someone to try to control everybody. And if you just go back in history, go back to World War II and how Hitler controlled Germany. And
that's it. They tell you no one's trying to control you. But that's all that's going on.
But that one is a particularly fantastic one because it was a culture that came out of a bad time, right? They had out of World War I, and
Versailles Treaty.
And this guy offered them pride in being German. He offered them this idea of a master race. Like the master race is a crazy idea, but
if you look at the Black Israelites, or you look at La Raza or Metcha, or you look at some of the right wing Jewish groups, the Chinese, every group says we're the master race.
Yeah, well, sure, but I mean, how many have tried to engineer it the way Hitler did? That's what's really crazy.
Well, no, exactly. The reason the globalists. Well, if you want to get the secret of Hitler.
No, but I'm saying.
You want Hitler's secret?
But hold on a second. What I'm saying is that it is amazing that there is a guy who has this idea of a master race. And if you were, but people rejected it worldwide. It was one of the most evil aspects of who he was. That's really interesting to me, that people rejected it because they knew it was like an improper calculation.
The general public rejected it.
The idea.
Other elites tried to duplicate it.
It was an improper calculation. The calculation was the only way to get people you want to get a master race, you have to have master genetics. But what it didn't take into account was compassion. It didn't take into account what's necessary to have a real healthy community. That was a slow, like a quick flash community because everybody was like hyper-focused on the nation. To have a real long-term community, you have to have compassion. You have to have camaraderie. And there's going to be people that aren't in the master race.
You can't use the leftist compassion when they support China and death camps and genetic engineering. The left's all, compassion.
You're right.
We can't hurt anyone's feelings. We're helping arrest Falun Gong and sell their organs, but we're Google.
Alex, talk to me. You're right. You're right. The left has giant flaws. It has giant flaws in its ridiculous ideas.
As you know, I'm against war.
I am too.
And so now you've seen national studies show this, Gallup poll. Democrats now support war more than Republicans.
Well, this is about what? This is about pulling out of Syria?
Trump's trying to get denuclearized, and everybody's loving it in South Korea and Japan and North Korea, and he's actually got them to not fire missiles and destroy nuclear sites.
There's a real problem in people not being able to say that anything that Trump does is good.
If a Democrat was doing what Trump was doing on some issues, I disagree with some, I would support them. I don't give a damn what they're D or R.
Well,
and so then Trump got rid of he's getting rid of the minimum sentences. I mean, Hillary Clinton, oh God, I saw this the other day. I know I'm ranting, but I was watching, I forget who the top Democrat was. They were on CNN, and I meant to put, and I didn't do it. And they go, President Trump thinks, the clip was CNN. CNN says Trump blacks are stupid. And it was a CNN panel going, Trump says blacks are predators who have to be brought to heel. And Joe, that's Hillary Clinton 1994 after she passed the Crime Act. That's her quote. So they're in reality, knowing our talking point is she did that. We have the video. Type in Hillary says blacks are super predators. They said Trump did it. It's not about Trump. It's that he didn't do that.